and he had sheep and oxen and he-asses and men servants and maid servants and she-asses and camels. So it's just like right in with livestock. Here he's got these, asses and camels and whatever else. Camels are mentioned, sheep, oxen, and men servants and maid servants, And there you go. Did Abram say, no thank you, I don't believe in slavery? No, he took them. Okay? Genesis chapter 15. Turn over there. Genesis chapter 15, verse 12. This is interesting here because you actually see the prophecy of what happens in the book of Exodus. Genesis chapter 15, verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. Did it happen? Yeah, it did. That's what the book of Exodus is all about. But can you imagine that? Being bondservants for 400 years? Very interesting. There were actually Jewish people that lived and died as bondservants. They never knew freedom. Very interesting there. Now look at chapter 17, verse 12. And here God is telling Abram that they're supposed to circumcise their people. But look at what it says here. Genesis chapter 17, verse 12. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. So yeah, they did own slaves. Now, you're just going to have to deal with that if you're a Christian. Exodus chapter 20. And there's a lot of negative things said about the practice of slavery. But the fact is, there was, we're going to see later as this thing goes on that there are rules for somebody who has bond servants. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. And we're going to see some of the Old Testament rules right now. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It's commandment number 4. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, and in it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Okay? Now, we'll just stop there. Does it say that your manservant, your maidservant, your bond servants there, that they're not, they don't have the same rights and privileges, they're just supposed to work? No. They get the day off too. They get the Sabbath day off. It wasn't some kind of a horrible, terrible thing. God said, no, you treat them well. You treat them with, the same rules apply to them as they do it to you, as far as the Sabbath day. Jump down to verse 17. It says here, Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Okay? So again, you see there that they were perfectly fine having manservants and maidservants. Now, what about God's rules for bondservants? Exodus chapter 21. Look over there. We're going to start at verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. So if you buy another Jew. Now, typically when you think of a bondservant, most people think of somebody from Africa, a descendant of Ham, according to what the Bible teaches. But they were actually buying Jews as bondservants. So your Bible doesn't single out a single group of people with a certain racial distinction there as bondservants. Anybody could be a bondservant. Okay? But you see there the thing about a Hebrew. Verse 3, if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Well, it sounds like it wasn't really all that bad. A bondservant actually saying, I don't want to go away. I don't want to leave my master. I mean, think about something for a minute. Go back even to our own history of slavery in America. You got some guy coming from Africa, and yeah, he's bought, he's taken from his tribe and whatever over there.